we're going to start adding to this. This is the third row or part of the third row that I've put on. And so this is really the time that I need to think about where should this be and what angle should this be at? What shape do I want this pot to look like? If you look at what I've drawn on here, you can see there are all kinds of options, okay, for like the outline or the silhouette of your pot, okay? And if you think about what you want it to look like, and if you look at the outside as you're building it row by row, you'll be able to create something like that, okay? So I would be thinking about what you want this to look like. Remember that the scoring should be in the shape of a V. You should have this part scored and slipped, and where you are attaching it scored and slipped. Okay, so I'm going to put these on, and I don't want to forget to look at the outside and stack those on, press them on, and sometimes you end up with kind of a funny place where it's not quite in the middle. That's okay. No one's going to notice except you, okay? Or unless you point it out. So I'm looking at this from the outside and I'm thinking, what shape do I want this to be, okay? And so if I'm looking at it here, you kind of think about it. Let's see if I can hold this. Think about where, like what shape am I going for with the side of it? Okay, so I would need to continue to go out if this is the shape that I want this to be. Okay, so I would need to stack. So my next one, same thing, I would need to lean these out. Okay, I haven't scored and slipped them, but I'm going to place them on there. So they are going to start to do the same thing. Okay, they're going to start to get bigger. What happens is as you do this and you make it get bigger, you have a bigger gap in between. And so eventually you are going to have some that go a little bit lower because they're going to have to fill that gap. But that's okay. That once you've made up that difference, then the next row won't have that big of a gap. Okay, because you'll have more pieces and they'll be a little bit lower. But you got to keep doing that. We do want to, as you are making this, we want to blend the inside of it. And so that again requires support from the back of it, holding your hand back here, and then using your tool to blend across. Okay, since these petals or these pieces are up and down this direction, you want to go the opposite direction to make them go away. Okay, to blend them together. And so this blending is going to help make sure that you don't have any holes. Okay, ladies, turn around. And that you are going to have a pot that's going to stay together. Okay, if you pour glaze inside here, and most of the people are the ones that haven't blended, they're going to have glaze leak out all over the place. Okay, so you need to make sure that you, every so often, you are blending. Maybe every 2 rows, you blend across. Okay, and make sure that you have those pieces disappear. You can take your sponge and smooth it off as well. But think about the shape, because if you just do whatever, then you're probably just going to get whatever. Okay, so if you want it to be specific, then you need to be thinking about it as you're making it. You can't change the bottom of it once you're at the top. Okay, you can't do anything about the base of it. So you need to think about what shape do you really want this to look like and kind of go from there.